On August 21st, 1905, delegates from the five tribes nations of the Indian Territory came together in Muskogee to draft a constitution for their proposed Native American state of Sequoia. In our history, Congress dismissed the idea immediately. But what if things were different at the time? What if there's a Sequoia-friendly Congress in session? What if there is a Democratic president in office that was in favor of the new state? Today, we will look into an alternate history where Sequoia gains statehood. The main reason Sequoia was rejected was due to an unfriendly Republican U.S. government. Both the Oval Office and Congress were controlled by the Republican Party, and they weren't too keen on letting some bound-to-be Democratic state into the Union. In this alternate timeline, though, Alton Parker somehow defeats Theodore Roosevelt in the 1904 presidential election, and Congress is under a Democratic majority. In the following year, in 1905, a proposal for statehood from the Indian Territory reaches Washington, D.C., and Congress, with the Democrats in control, relay it up to the president. President Parker signs the bill giving statehood to Sequoia. Sequoia is admitted into the Union as the 46th state in early February of 1906, with the state retaining its territorial capital of Muskogee. A year and a half later, on November 16, 1907, the state of Oklahoma joins the Union as the country's 47th state. The former Twin Territories, as they were called, now the Twin States, were about as far apart from twins as you can get. The two states were polar opposites. Sequoia was more democratic, while Oklahoma was more Republican. Sequoia had land suitable for agriculture, and Oklahoma had land accustomed to ranching. Sequoia practiced prohibition, while Oklahoma was a predominantly wet state. The largest difference between the two states were their backgrounds. Oklahoma was settled by a majority white Americans, while Sequoia was settled by the ancestors who traveled the Trail of Tears. The new state of Sequoia was a brilliant thing for Native Americans across the country. There was now a place in the country that was majority Native American, supported Native American culture, and it was also a place that was thriving with economic opportunities. Sequoia was rich in oil, coal, agriculture, and economic investment. You see, Sequoia was in a brilliant strategic location. Ranchers wanted to transport cattle from their ranches in Texas to the slaughterhouses of Chicago. The traditional way was to participate in a cattle drive from their ranches to Dodge City, Kansas, where the cattle would be loaded onto trains heading for Chicago. Even though the state of Sequoia was against railroads, seeing them as an intrusion into their cultural practices, and had previously contributed to the decline of the bison population, which the Plains tribes so desperately relied on, Sequoia couldn't pass up this great amount of funding this would provide to their new state, and allowed railroads to be built with great supervision from the Sequoian government. Sequoia's economy would be devastated by the Great Depression, seeing as the prices for oil and coal would decrease significantly. While Oklahoma's agriculture is decimated, Sequoia's will only slightly be affected. Originally, when settlers came into Oklahoma, they immediately started deforestation to build houses and make new farmland. Sequoia, on the other hand, was more resourceful with how they treated their land, mainly how they planted trees after they chopped them down. You see, tree roots keep dirt in place, so without trees, your soil is more susceptible to being kicked up in high winds, leading to a dust bowl. The state of Sequoia would maintain a thriving economy throughout the rest of the 20th century, only taking a decent hit in the 70s with a drop in oil prices. In the 21st century, Sequoia's population is estimated to be around 2 million. Sequoia would cover approximately 31,000 square miles, with its largest city being Tulsa. Sequoia would witness many changes over the years, politically and culturally, but throughout they would always remain Native America.